Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. I hope your day is doing well. If not, this video might just turn your day around. Today's topic is going to be about influence versus inspiration. Let's get into it. So what does influence mean to me? That's the first thing we're going to tackle. Well, influence can mean a lot of things if you really think about it. For example, influencer, like myself, I guess, can influence you to go do something, to go recreate this whole thing, right? Or influencers can go influence you to go buy a certain product or a certain, I guess, item. Now, I do think influence is good in some situations, right? Maybe someone's influencing you to do the good thing, right? Or stick up for someone or stick up for something, right? Also, at the same time, there's influence has a negative connotation, and that is people can be easily influenced. To me, that is a kind of a negative connotation. It's a real thing out there. People are easily influenced. We all have our people that we follow on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever. We see things that they do, and we realize that we kind of like it, or we trying to recreate it. For example, I was influenced by other content creators to start a channel, right? But I slowly started drawing inspiration from them. Now I'll get into more detail later on that. But influence. There's a lot of things that influence our daily lives. For example, what we eat, what environment we are in, what we watch on the news, pretty much our whole life. What we intake. That is pretty much all influence in some way, shape, or form, whether that's good or whether that's bad, right? I really think, influence and how it affects you, it's all about how you take that influence. I know I'm throwing the word influence around a lot, I get, but it's a real thing, and I feel like people need to kind of start realizing that being influenced, it's kind of a, in my opinion, it's kind of a bad, no, not really a bad thing. It's in between. I'd rather be inspired, right? Because to me, what being inspired means is creating something on your own. Being resourceful, I guess, being out on your own. I heard this great thing is you look for inspiration while influence looks for you. Now let's kind of go into that more. Obviously we're surrounded by influencers pretty much on social media every single day, right? We have people talking to you like me, giving you new ideas, new thought perspectives, kind of influencing you to do something, right? And influencing is like you watch, let's say, a Minecraft build and you want to recreate it. Well, you're not going to, sometimes you can recreate it exactly like this, or you go out there and recreate something like this. That is you being influenced in some way to go and recreate this. Basically, being influenced to go do something is kind of like going out there and recreating something in a sense. And, I think that's a good thing. But I feel like, true creativeness really comes from being inspired, right? Watching an inspiring video, watching an inspiring thing, right? Let's say you watch a film and you like the idea of what the film has, but you don't really like how it was put out. And then you get inspired to go create something totally different, totally original, totally different. That's even a whole nother bag of worms, originality, right? Because I feel like a lot of people tell us that you got to be original, you got to do things. If you don't do this, you're not original, right? And yes, that is true. If you blatantly copy someone, you're kind of not being original. What makes original artworks or original things is being truly authentic, being truly authentic to yourselves, liking the things that other people may, seem to think that are weird. And even those little things could be, maybe you like something that your parents don't. Do it. You are your own self. Don't even let your parents keep you under. Yeah, your parents may or may not say, I can't say this for everyone because everyone's a little different. People around you might say that, oh, you shouldn't do this because of X, Y, and Z, right? Well, what I say to that is, do you. You can do you. Just do it. There's a reason why so many people, so many influencers say, are trying to influence you to just do it. and they're not wrong. I think influencing can be used for good. For example, influencing you to get started on the project you've been waiting to put off. I think it really depends on who is, talking and who is giving you the influence and who you really consume at the end of the day is a really big factor, kind of your life. Because, what you consume, what you think, becomes your thoughts, it becomes your daily habits, the little things in life, right? So that's why people are on this big bandwagon of, I guess, cleaning up and doing social media detoxes. And I see the appeal. I truly do. But at the same time, there's an appeal that I've noticed, and I've fallen down this trap a couple times and just watching for entertainment, right? It's kind of it's a hard balance to find. I find a lot of people saying, "Don't watch this, don't watch TikTok, don't watch Instagram." Even I've said it in the past, and what I feel like the people mean is, don't watch it and don't let it, consume you. Don't let it become time you waste on it, right? Sure, you can still watch all those things if you want to be entertained. Entertainment has been around for a while, centuries, millennia, all that fun jazz. And I think that's a good thing. Being entertained is a good thing, but letting it consume you is another. Anyways, that's my little rant on influence. Talk about inspiration. Now, to me, inspiration means, I just said this before, is when you kind of watch something or observe something and you don't want to necessarily recreate it. This is really hard to put into words, but it's you want to go out there and you feel inspired to go out there and create something on your own, create something cool. Kind of it's the way I best describe it is when you go to a movie theater, right? You watch a movie, obviously, that's why you're there. Let's say it's Dune or Transformers or maybe it's an action movie even, right? Let's say you watch it, you enjoy it, it's a great movie, it's probably a good movie, or a space movie, maybe exploring, or maybe it's a documentary, any movie of your choice. Then after the movie, you get out, into the parking lot, maybe you get into the car, and you're just thinking, and you're like, wow, that movie was really great. I wish I can do what they did, but I also wish that I could somehow apply this to real life in my own unique way. That to me is inspiration. You're getting inspired to go out there and not create something like you just saw in the movie, because usually, movies are not real. Well, some of them are realistic, but majority of them, are maybe sci-fi or maybe something that cannot physically happen because of our laws of the universe, right? But you want to do it, right? Prime example would be becoming Iron Man. A lot of people love Iron Man, right? A lot of people love that Iron Man, creating his own Jarvis, creating a holographic table, and also all of those things can become real. But some people want to become exactly like Iron Man, and hey, you do you. But there's also a couple things that don't want to really become like him, but want to create it in their own way, in their own unique way, right? Totally different. Maybe the same couple ideas here and there, but totally different. It sparks true creativity. Now, some of you may be asking, well, how do you know when you reach your true creativity? Well, I can't speak for every single one of you, but I can speak for myself. When I reach true creativity, it's very rare these days because of everything distracting me. It's when ideas flow so easily and you just keep popping up ideas, just like maybe new script or maybe a new video idea or maybe a new build. This whole build right here that I'm doing right now, this was, I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was inspired by the idea of a cluster city. I know there was a city out there that was really clustered and had a big population, and then the desert. I guess during that time I was watching a lot of desert movies. I don't know, it's been a while since I really thought of why I'm doing this build, but I really wanted a dense city. I was originally thinking going for that cyberpunk look, but that might be in a different build or maybe even a different world. We'll see. But back to inspiration. Obviously, inspiration for anyone is going to be completely different. Maybe your inspiration means you like to draw, um, or maybe you like to build something, maybe building Minecraft, like what I do, because I get inspiration every once in a while to go create create my own unique thing, right? Um, Inspiration leads to creativity, and influence doesn't. Influence, I would say, leads to a version of inspiration, but not really true inspiration. In a sense, influence is kind of like you're copying someone, or you like the idea and you just twist it. Yes, you can argue it's original because you changed it. Usually if you change one thing or a couple things, it's your own piece of work apparently. But I say, creating something completely new. That's kind of the real, true inspiration, I guess. Now I know this is a very far out topic in a sense, and I'm probably not doing a great job at explaining it. But just really think about it. Inspiration. What really inspires you? What do you, I guess, watch, or what video do you go out there and see, and you just want to go out there and do something, right? Maybe that's building a car, or maybe building a Lego even, right? True inspiration. Now, think about that. Just think about how do they differ, and what do they have in common. To me, I'm going to bring this back up again, but to me, inspiration and influence are a little bit different in my opinion. I think, influence is you are sharing someone's ideas, or you are somehow copying them, but not copying them, if you kind of get what that meant. And now, influence. Influence has some type of negative connotation because of the phrase, um, people are easily influenced, I guess, in today's world. And that to me kind of means like they're being brainwashed into liking this one thing, right? Or kind of jumping on the bandwagon because people are already on it, right? This is why you have so many, big speakers out there that don't care what other people think and that say what they want. Is because they were at some point truly inspired um, to create their own thing. One thing it's kind of like this. I thought of a new idea of putting it into words. It's um, it's kind of like putting your own twist on things. You see someone, they're doing it this way, but you want to do it this way because you think your way is better in some shape or form. It's like any YouTube channel or any music artist, they all get inspired by someone or something. And obviously, any music artist is not going to straight up copy someone else's song because that would be bad for business and you'd be unoriginal and you'd lose a lot of your fame a lot pretty damn fast. But then they go out there and create something like it. Not exactly, or something that is completely different, true inspiration. So overall, what can you take away from this video? Take away that there's a difference between inspiration and influence, in my opinion. I say influence is more available to you now because of the internet, but inspiration, it's a hard thing to come by, and it's kind of a thing that you kind of not have to be looking for it, but also looking for it, or just find your own way to be inspired. And I feel like a way to do that would be to delete social media. And because you see all these new ideas and you're influenced by the ideas, so therefore you will have a bias, right? And but if you delete it, you'll be on your own in your own thoughts. You'll be able to create, I guess, your own things in your own mind, obviously in your own mind, but you'll be able to create new and exciting things. So this is why, like, back, I guess, 100 years, there's so many new inventions. Not because there was technology, but because there's so many great minds that just sat down and think. They were inspired by other people doing great things that they wanted to do great things themselves. And I think that's great. And I think that needs to come back into this time and generation, because I feel like it could benefit a lot of people. And I see the appeal of why people delete social media. It's because they want their, I guess, creativity and their inspiration back. They want to kind of take control of their own mind. I feel like this really boils down to a mind control, not mind control, but a mind issue, not issue even, kind of a mind game, and really, I guess, self-esteem and mental health. That's what I'm trying to. word I was looking for. Mental health. A lot of these things boil down to mental health and how you are upkeeping it. So make sure you upkeep your mental health. All right. I hope every single one of you has a good day, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and good night. And hope every single one of you can find peace in your lifetime.